Hey folks, have you ever thought a single penny could make you a millionaire? I know what you're thinking. It's a penny. What can a penny buy these days? Maybe a piece of bubblegum back in 1952. But not today. Well, hold on to your coin jars because I'm about to tell you how one ordinary looking 2006 VDB Lincoln Memorial penny turned into a $1 million jackpot. Yeah, you heard that right. $1 million. It now. Before you start flipping over your couch cushions or raiding your grandpa's coffee can full of change, stick with me, because this little copper-coated beauty might just be hiding in your house, your car, or even stuck between the washing machine and dryer like a forgotten slice of treasure pie. And trust me, I've got a personal story that proves just how real this stuff can get. So sit back, grab a snack, and let's dig into the wild world of the 2006 VDB Lincoln Memorial penny. You're gonna love this. So let's talk about the 2006 VDB penny. This one was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it looks like every other penny you've seen 100 times. You might think, no way, this thing is worth more than 1 cent. But that's where the magic happens. Not all coins are created equal. Most of the 2006 VDB Lincoln pennies are worth, well, a penny. But there's a tiny handful out there that have unique features, rare errors, and minting quirks that turn them from pocket change into collector gold. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and other funky factory flaws that make a coin ultra-rare. And when collectors get a whiff of rarity, the price skyrockets faster than your neighbor's barbecue smoke on a Sunday afternoon. One particular 2006 VDB penny was found with an extremely rare die clash error combined with a wrong metal composition. Instead of being made with the usual copper-plated zinc, this one was struck on a bronze planchet left over from a foreign coin run. That's basically like finding a unicorn riding a skateboard. Rare, weird, and extremely valuable. Here's where my personal story comes in. A few years ago, I was helping my cousin move. You know, just carrying boxes, pretending not to be annoyed about lifting her antique collection of cat figurines. And I noticed this old dusty jar in her kitchen, filled with coins. She was about to throw it out, saying, "It's just junk. No $1 million coin, unfortunately." But I did find a 1972 double die penny that turned out to be worth over $100. Not bad for a dusty jar. Nobody wanted it. Ever since then, I've made it a habit to check every coin that passes through my hands. Drive-through change, coins on the sidewalk, even that suspicious penny that shows up in the laundry after you swore you emptied your pockets first. It's about condition. A coin in mint state, with little to no wear, is always going to be worth more. You're looking for coins graded MS67 or higher. If yours still has its original luster, sharp details on Lincoln's face, and no scratches or dings, you might be in business. Second, it's about the error. Not all 2006 VDB pennies are worth big bucks. It's the specific error coins that break the bank. Some of the known errors include double dies on the date or lettering, die clashes where parts of the design from the opposite side bleed through, and of course, coins struck on the wrong metal. These aren't things you'll spot easily unless you take a good look with a magnifying glass or a coin loop. So get yourself one of those. They're cheap and could help you spot a jackpot. And this is my favorite part, it's about luck. Sometimes the rarest coins show up in the weirdest places. Flea markets, change from a vending machine, that 1 penny you find in your kid's toy chest. Keep your eyes open. Always. Don't spend it. Please, for the love of Lincoln, don't use it at the gas station. Step 2. Get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Step 3. If it's the real deal, contact an auction house that deals in rare coins. They'll help you get the best price and connect you with collectors who are hungry for your find. And remember, even if your coin doesn't hit the $1 million mark, there are plenty of 2006 VDB pennies out there worth hundreds or even thousands because of their condition and minor errors. Collecting coins is like treasure hunting, but with less digging and fewer snakes. That little copper coin in your pocket might just be your ticket to an early retirement, a dream vacation, or finally upgrading your flip phone. All it takes is a sharp eye and a little curiosity. Check your change, look through old jars, dig into your sock drawer. Who knows what treasure you're sitting on? The 2006 VDB Lincoln penny is proof that even the smallest things can hold massive value. And hey, if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or even mildly amusing, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Stick around for more tips, stories, and wild discoveries about coins that are worth way more than you'd ever expect. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever thought that a single penny could change your life? No, really, I'm talking about a plain old copper colored Lincoln penny that might just be sitting in your junk drawer, under your couch, or wedged between your car seats right now. And if it's the right one, it could be worth a whopping $1.1 million. That's right, 1 cent, 1 million bucks. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions inside out, hold on. Let me tell you the story of the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny that's turning heads in the coin world and making everyday folks like you and me double-check their spare change with magnifying glasses. I'll walk you through everything you need to know, from what makes this penny special, how to identify one, and why the heck it's worth more than some houses. I'll even share a little personal tale involving a shoebox, a coin jar, and one heck of a lucky day. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why this tiny copper coin is causing such a big stir. First off, no mint mark means it was produced in Philadelphia. Now, that's not rare by itself. Philly pumped out billions of pennies. I mean, if the mint had a treadmill, Philly was running a coin marathon that year. So we're not talking about scarcity in the traditional sense. What makes this specific penny special is something called a double die error. That's when the coin die, which is the stamp that puts the design on the coin, gets a little tipsy and shifts slightly between strikes. So when it presses the design onto the coin, you end up with a doubling effect on certain parts of the coin, most noticeably the lettering die. In the case of the 1995 penny, that doubling shows up most clearly in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. You don't need a microscope, just good eyes or a half-decent magnifier. If the letters look like they've had a bit too much coffee and they're seeing double, bingo. Now here's the wild part. Because this doubling is pretty dramatic, it caught collectors' eyes fast. Back in the day, people started hoarding them. And you'd think that would make them less valuable over time, right? More supply, less demand? But nope. Because of the intense interest and the fact that many were still spent as normal change before anyone realized their value, clean, sharp examples are now in high demand. And if you've got one in near-perfect condition, we're talking mint state, graded MS68 or better, you're looking at potentially $50,000 to over $1 million. One verified sale hit that glorious $1.1 million mark. Yeah, somebody basically found $1 million typo. Let me tell you something from my own life that'll make you laugh. A few years back, I decided to finally clean out my garage. I had this old shoebox filled with coins that had been sitting there since, I don't know, maybe the late 90s? I figured it was just full of boring pocket change from when gas was $1 a gallon. But just for kicks, I dumped the whole thing on the floor and started sorting through it. I turned on a desk lamp, grabbed a soda, and said to myself, all right, Indiana Jones, let's find that treasure. I came across a 1995 penny, and it had no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I rushed to my computer, zoomed in on the letters. Liberty looked a little drunk. Like it was seeing double. Could it be? Long story short, I sent it off to be graded. Turns out it was a pretty decent example, not $1 million level, but it still sold for a couple $100. And hey, considering it cost me nothing and was hiding under an old McDonald's Monopoly piece, I'll call that a win. These coins are out there. They're not all gone. They're not locked away in museums or buried in billionaires' vaults. They could be hiding in your change jar, your kid's piggy bank, or in that mysterious drawer in your kitchen everyone avoids. Look at the inscriptions. Liberty and In God We Trust should have clear, visible doubling, especially around the edges of the letters. This part matters. The better the condition, the better the value. A heavily circulated penny with doubling might get you $100. But a pristine, untouched coin with that error? That's where the serious cash comes in. And now if you want to get your coin graded, it's best to send it to a professional like PCGS or NGC. They'll slap it in a nice plastic holder and give you a grade. If it scores high, you might be in for a payday that makes your boss's paycheck look like lunch money. Go to estate sales, flea markets, or even bank coin rolls. Yes, people still dump rare coins at the bank without even knowing it. Grab a roll of pennies, pop a bowl of popcorn, and start searching. It's like Netflix, but you might find something worth a fortune. And hey, if your eyes start going fuzzy after the 5th roll, take a break. Coin hunting should be fun, not frustrating. I once spent 3 hours looking through a box of nickels only to find a Canadian dime. Not helpful, but hey, it's still shiny. That little 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny, yeah, the one you probably ignored last time you got change at the gas station, could be your golden ticket. Well, copper ticket. It's got the potential to turn an ordinary moment into an extraordinary one. All it takes is a little knowledge, a good eye, and maybe a pinch of luck. That if you've got a coin jar collecting dust or a drawer full of forgotten change, now's the time to dive in. You never know what's waiting for you. That 1 cent could turn into $1 million. That's not just pocket change. That's life-changing money. And hey, if this video helped you learn something new, or at least made you smile while thinking about crawling under your couch, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another episode. I've got loads of tips, tricks, and stories coming your way, all about coins worth serious money and the strategies to find them. Share this with a friend who always says pennies are worthless. Let's prove them wrong together. Hey folks, let me hit you with a wild thought. What if I told you that a single penny, just one, could be worth more than a Lamborghini, a vacation home, or even your kid's college tuition? Yeah, I'm talking about a regular-looking 1988 Lincoln Memorial penny that's missing one tiny detail, a mint mark. And guess what? It's worth $1.2 million. Now I know what you're thinking. A penny? Seriously? The same little coin that disappears into your couch cushions and never comes back? Yup. That one. But before you flip your whole house upside down looking for old change, sit tight. We're diving into how this humble 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny became a millionaire in copper clothing. And let me tell you, it's got a story juicier than a Thanksgiving turkey. But first, a quick personal tale that'll make you laugh and maybe even cry a little. So, a few years back, I was rummaging through an old coffee tin of coins my grandpa left me. He told me to hold on to it, just in case. I figured maybe there'd be a silver dime or two in there. Nothing fancy. Well, turns out, buried under about 200 sticky pennies and a Canadian nickel, was a 1988 penny without a mint mark. And at the time, I thought, printing mistake? Cool, probably worth like $5. Well, I tossed it back in the tin and forgot about it. Fast forward to last year, I'm watching some coin auction livestream, and bam. They sell a 1988 no mint mark penny for over $1 million. My eyes went wide. My jaw hit the floor. I sprinted to the attic faster than a kid running from chores. And guess what? I couldn't find that dang tin. So yeah, learn from me, don't ignore the little guys. Because that 1 cent might just change your life. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this $1 million penny. Specifically with the initials of the designer on the coin's reverse. Most 1988 pennies were made with what's called the new reverse style that started in 1989. But a few sneaky 1988 coins were struck with the reverse design from 1989 by mistake. These coins show the designer's initials FG, for Frank Gasparo, in a style that doesn't match the year. That tiny little detail? That's what drives collectors wild. These were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't stamp a mint mark on pennies. That's why they're called no mint mark. But finding one with the wrong reverse design makes it the golden goose of modern pennies. Think of it like a baseball card with the wrong stats, or a stamp with a picture printed upside down. Mint errors can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, extremely rare. There are only a handful of confirmed examples out there. It's not the kind of coin you find every day, or even every decade. That's why when one pops up at auction, collectors come running like it's Black Friday at a tool store. As of right now, top-grade examples of the 1988 no mint mark reverse of 1989 Lincoln penny have sold for as high as $1.2 million. That's not monopoly money, folks. That's the kind of cash that'll have your in-laws calling you sir. Now, before you throw every coin you own into the bathtub and start inspecting them with a magnifying glass, here are a few tips to help you check for this specific penny. First, flip the coin and look at the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial side. Look closely at the FG initials, right near the base of the memorial. If the initials are bolder and closer to the building than normal, you might have the 1989 reverse. Double check the date, it should read 1988 and have no mint mark under it. If you think you found one, don't clean it, don't drop it, and definitely don't spend it on gas. Get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That grading could be the $1 million step. Even if you have the right reverse, condition matters. A penny that's been chewed up by a vending machine and sat in a puddle for 10 years probably won't hit the million mark. But a crisp, clean example in high mint state condition? That's the jackpot. Yup, people out there are trying to pass off altered coins as the real deal. A real 1988 reverse of 1989 penny will have very specific details. Anything that looks suspicious or has been tampered with is probably too good to be true. If you're hunting through rolls of pennies from the bank, don't get discouraged. It's a numbers game. You might go through hundreds, maybe even thousands, before you find something interesting. But the payoff? Oh, it's real. Heck, I know a guy, my cousin's neighbor's uncle, who paid his mortgage off with a coin he found in a parking lot. Okay, maybe not the whole mortgage, but it made a nice dent. 1992 close AM penny, 1999 white AM penny, 1983 double die reverse, 1972 double die obverse. These coins can also fetch hundreds or thousands depending on condition. Who knew pocket change could be so profitable? If you've got a coffee tin, a shoebox, or even an old piggy bank sitting around, now's the time to crack it open. Check those 1988 pennies. You never know, one of them might have that rare reverse and be worth a life-changing $1.2 million, and if you've already checked and didn't find one? Don't worry, this coin game's a marathon, not a sprint. Keep checking, keep learning, and keep hunting, because the truth is, treasure isn't buried under X's anymore, it's hiding in your change jar. And hey, if you enjoyed hanging out and learning about million-dollar coins, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button like it owes you lunch money. Hit the like button if you're now obsessed with checking every penny you come across. And share this video with your buddies, especially that one friend who's been hoarding coins since the 80s. I've got loads more tips coming your way on rare coins, collecting strategies, and stories from everyday folks who turn pennies into paydays. You don't want to miss it. Hey folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your pennies? I mean, really stared at one, squinting like you're Indiana Jones trying to crack some ancient code. Well, you might want to start doing that, because one little copper coin from 1970, yes, the humble Lincoln Memorial penny with a D mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. That's right, $1.3 million for a single penny. Mine barely buys gum anymore. And you're absolutely right. Most pennies won't even get you a nod from a vending machine these days. But this one, the 1970 VDB Lincoln penny, is on a whole different level. And today, I'm going to tell you why. We'll break down how this tiny coin became a millionaire, what makes it special, and why you might have one sitting in your junk drawer. So grab your coin jar, get comfy, and let's dive into the strange, funny, and oddly profitable world of the $1 million penny. Alright, so here's the scoop. Back in 1970, the Denver Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies like crazy. The Vietnam War was still raging, Nixon was in the White House, and disco wasn't even a thing yet. Amid all that, someone at the Denver Mint made a little mistake, a tiny but very valuable one. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me give you a quick refresher. The D mint mark? That just means the coin was minted in Denver. You'll see the letter D right under the date on the front of the penny, just beside Abraham Lincoln's chest. Seems normal, right? But here's the wild part. Some of these 1970 D pennies were struck using a proof reverse die from a 1969 S penny. I know, sounds like coin nerd mumbo jumbo, but trust me, this mix-up is what makes it worth the big bucks. It's what collectors call a transitional error. Basically, the front and back of the coin come from two different worlds. It's like wearing a tuxedo jacket with pajama pants. You're going to get noticed now. In the coin collecting world, anything that stands out from the crowd tends to rack up value. Errors, misprints, double dies, off-center strikes, it's like Pokemon for grown-ups. Gotta catch 'em all, and hope they're worth a fortune. So let's talk about the money. The current market value for this little copper misfit has skyrocketed to $1.3 million. That's not a typo. 1.3 million. For a coin that weighs just over 3 grams. That's about $433,000 per gram. To put that in perspective, that's more expensive than gold, diamonds, and probably a first-class ticket to space. This isn't just about one rare coin locked away in some billionaire's vault. These pennies can and have shown up in regular people's change. That's right. There have been cases of folks finding these things in jars, drawers, even stuck between couch cushions. Imagine spilling your change while looking for the remote and discovering $1 million hiding under a Cheeto crumb. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was visiting my Uncle Larry, the kind of guy who's been hoarding pennies since gas was $1 a gallon. He pulls out this dusty old coffee can filled to the brim with pennies and goes, "Think any of these are worth something?" I laughed at first. I mean, it was mostly crusty Lincolns and a few Canadian intruders, but being the coin nut I am, I started going through them, and what do I see? A 1970 penny that looked a little off. The design on the back was too sharp, too detailed. My palms started sweating. My heart beat faster. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Now, turns out it wasn't the rare one, but it was a good double die and still sold for a couple $100. But ever since then, every time I see a penny, I give it the stink eye just in case. That's the back, and compare it to a regular 1970 penny. If the details on the Lincoln Memorial look extra sharp, like it's got better posture than usual, that's a good sign. The words United States of America and 1 cent should look slightly different from a regular circulation strike. Some of the letters might even be thicker. Don't worry. There are plenty of online guides with side-by-side comparisons. Or better yet, take it to a professional coin grader. They'll tell you exactly what you've got. You might want to call your bank, your lawyer, and your travel agent. Maybe even all three at the same time. That pocket change isn't just pocket change. That a little copper coin from 1970 could change your life. And that it's totally worth your time to check your loose change before you toss it in the couch cushions or give it to the grocery store coin jar. For less than a penny's worth of effort, you could be holding $1 million mistake. And wouldn't that be the sweetest error of all? If you had fun today or learned something new, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Because here, we're all about finding value in the little things, literally. I've got more stories, tips, and strategies coming your way on coins worth money, so don't miss out. Also, let me know in the comments, have you ever found something valuable in your change? Or maybe you've got a jar of old coins just begging to be explored. Trust me, now's the time. Where pocket change turns into paydays. If you've ever dropped a penny and didn't bother to pick it up, you might want to rethink that, because today we're talking about a simple little coin that's now worth $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a single penny that's enough to buy a house, a fancy car, and still have enough left over for a lifetime supply of tacos. Now let me tell you something real quick. A few years back I was cleaning out the cushions of my old recliner hunting for the TV remote, and what do I find? A bunch of lint, a stale Cheeto, and a handful of pennies. I nearly tossed them in a jar, but one of them caught my eye. I looked closer and realized it didn't have a mint mark. I thought to myself, could this be one of those rare ones everyone talks about? It wasn't, but it got me hooked on coin collecting, and trust me, I've been digging through change like a gold miner ever since. So let's get into it. This is the story of the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, and why it's causing coin collectors to go wild. Alright, before we dive into the $1 million stuff, let's talk about what this penny actually is. In 1982, the US Mint did something sneaky. They switched the metal content of the penny. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper, but mid-year they changed it to a cheaper metal, zinc, with just a thin layer of copper. Why? Because copper prices were going up and Uncle Sam wanted to save a buck. Here's where it gets juicy. During the transition year, the Mint made a whole bunch of different kinds of 1982 pennies. There were large dates, small dates, copper ones, zinc ones, and some had a mint mark and some didn't. Basically, it was a year of penny chaos. Now most of these are just regular old pennies worth 1 cent, maybe a few bucks if they're in pristine condition, but one version stands out, the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, made from copper, not zinc. And when I say rare, I mean unicorn in a haystack rare. So how do you know if you've got the golden goose? Let me break it down. First, look for a penny dated 1982. That's the easy part. Next, check under the date. If there's no mint mark, no little DRS, then you've got a potential candidate. Now here's the fun part. You need to find out what it's made of. Is it copper or zinc? You can't tell just by looking, but there's a trick. So grab a digital scale and check the weight. If it's over 3 grams and has no mint mark and the date is 1982, you might want to sit down and take a deep breath, because one of these bad boys sold for a whopping $1.4 million. That's right, a penny turned into a life-changing payday. Now before you run to your piggy bank, let me give you a bit more context. These coins aren't just valuable because of their metal or date, they're valuable because of a rare mistake. The no mint mark 1982 copper penny wasn't supposed to exist. It's like finding a dinosaur at a dog park. It's an error coin. A handful were struck in copper at the Philadelphia Mint, which normally didn't use a mint mark. and only later switched to zinc, so these slipped through the cracks and into circulation without anyone noticing. It wasn't until collectors started weighing and inspecting coins that the mystery came to light, and when the first verified 1982 no-mint mark copper penny sold, it shook the numismatic world like a vending machine on tilt. Let me tell you another quick story. I was at a local flea market last summer sweating like a popsicle on a grill when I spotted a table full of random coins. The guy behind the table was more interested in his burrito than the coins he was selling. I started digging through a box marked 10 cents each, and guess what I found? A 1982 penny with no mint mark. He nearly screamed but held it, and trying to play it cool, I handed over my dime and walked away like I just pulled off a jewel heist. Got home, weighed it in. Sigh, it was zinc, but hey, that adrenaline rush was priceless, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. So if you're looking to strike gold, here's your step game plan. Check your change every time you go shopping. Sort out the 1982 pennies, weigh them carefully, check for no mint mark, and if you find one that fits the bill, get it authenticated immediately, and don't be discouraged if you don't find one right away. Remember, coin collecting is about the thrill of the hunt. It's like treasure hunting, but you don't have to fight off pirates or deal with sand in your shoes. Also keep an eye on the coin market. These rare pennies have been gaining value over the years, and experts believe their price could go even higher, especially since they're so rare and demand keeps climbing. You never know when one might pop up again. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny made from copper is one of the most valuable error coins in American history. It's got the perfect combo of rarity, historical significance, and mystery, and best of all, it could be sitting in your coin jar right now just waiting to be discovered. So don't underestimate those pennies. Check your change, weigh your coins, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next lucky collector to turn 1 cent into over $1 million. If you had fun today or learned something new, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos coming your way full of coin tips, tricks, and stories that'll make you the smartest coin collector on the block. And hey, leave a comment if you've ever found a cool coin, or if you're just starting your coin journey. I read every single one and love hearing from fellow treasure hunters. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next time someone says pennies are worthless, just smile and say not if you know where to look. Hey coin lovers and accidental treasure hunters. Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny before tossing it into your change jar or car cup holder? I mean, really looked? Well, let me tell you, if you've been sleeping on your pocket change, you could be sitting on a $1.5 million payday. That's right. One ordinary-looking 1989 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark just sold for a mind-melting $1.5 million. And here you were using it to scrape gum off your shoe. Stick around, because today we're diving into how this seemingly boring penny turned into a small fortune, and why you might want to start paying attention to the little brown coin that's probably rolling around under your couch cushions right now. Alright, let's break this down. The 1989 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark looks totally normal at first glance. Nothing fancy, nothing shiny. Just good old Abe Lincoln chillin' on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the kicker: sometimes the most valuable things in life are the ones hiding in plain sight. Like that one sock that always disappears from the dryer, or that Tupperware lid you find 6 months later behind the fridge. So, what makes this 1989 no mint mark penny so valuable? It's not magic, though it might feel like it. The $1 million value comes down to a combination of rarity, errors, and top-notch condition. Basically, it's the holy trinity of coin collecting. Now here's where things get spicy. Most pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. So no mint mark on a 1989 penny isn't necessarily an error on its own. But the rare valuable version? That one has a unique double die error that makes certain details on the coin appear slightly duplicated. We're talking about Lincoln's face, the date, and the inscriptions looking a little off, like they had one too many coffees before being struck. That kind of doubling can happen when the die that stamps the coin shifts slightly between strikes, and if the coin is in pristine condition, we're talking graded MS-68 or higher by professionals, that's when it really starts to climb the money ladder. Combine that error with nearly flawless preservation, and boom, you're looking at a tiny piece of copper worth more than most cars. Some experts say fewer than a dozen of these specific error pennies exist in high-grade condition, which is what makes collectors drool over them. A few years back, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He's the kind of guy who never throws anything away. We're talking newspapers from 1992 and expired cans of beans. Anyway, in one of the dusty boxes marked stuff, I found an old coffee can full of loose change. Being the coin nerd that I am, I grabbed it and started sorting through the pennies. My uncle laughed at me and said, "What, you think there's gold in there?" I shrugged and said, "Who knows? Maybe there's $1 million penny in here." I didn't find the $1.5 million 1989 penny that day. But I did find a 1972 doubled die penny worth about $300. My uncle just stared at it like it was cursed and said, "Well, I guess hoarding does pay off sometimes." Moral of the story? You never know what's hiding in those old jars and drawers until you look back to the 1989 penny. If you're wondering how to spot the rare one, here's what you need to do. First, grab a magnifying glass. Don't rely on your old reading glasses or the zoom on your phone. Look closely at the date, Liberty, and "In God We Trust." If they appear to have a shadowy double image, you might have something special. Also, flip it over and check the reverse side. Some rare versions also show doubling on the words United States of America or E pluribus unum. And please, for the love of Lincoln, don't clean the coin. Cleaning it will knock down the value faster than a kid knocking over a tower of Legos. Collectors want coins in their natural, unpolished glory. Even a bit of dirt can be charming if it comes with a side of rarity. Now you might be asking, how do I get it graded? Great question. There are professional grading services like PCGS or NGC that'll evaluate your coin and give it an official grade. It's like taking your coin to the DMV, except instead of a license you get a certification that could turn your coin into cold hard cash right now. The high-grade, rare error version of this 1989 penny is going for up to $1.5 million at auctions. And the market is still hot. Coin collecting has gone through the roof in the last few years. With more folks getting into it and less physical cash being used, the old change we ignored for decades is now being hunted like pirate treasure. So, let me ask you one more time. Have you checked your pennies lately? That little copper coin you just walked over on the sidewalk might be worth more than your entire car. Or your neighbor's car. Or heck, even your neighbor's house, depending on where you live. The 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny with that juicy double die error is a reminder that treasure isn't always buried. Sometimes it's in your junk drawer, your glove compartment, or the jar of coins you've been meaning to roll up for the bank since 2009. Start looking. Get curious. And if you find something cool, let me know in the comments. I love hearing your stories. Who knows, maybe the next millionaire coin collector is watching this video right now. But if you enjoyed this dive into coin collecting madness and want more tips, stories, and strategies on coins worth serious money, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next big find. Hey folks, grab your cup of coffee and hold on to your pocket change because you won't believe what I'm about to tell you. That humble little Lincoln penny you've probably ignored your whole life, yeah, that one jingling in your junk drawer, it could be worth over $1 million. I'm talking about the 1993 VDB Lincoln Memorial penny, and if you've got the right one, it could rake in a whopping $1.6 million. Not even joking. Come on, who's out here paying that kind of money for a penny? Well, get comfortable because by the end of this video, you're gonna be flipping over every penny in your house like it's made of solid gold. But before we get into the wild world of rare coin collecting and exactly why this penny is worth more than some folks' houses, let me share a quick story with you that might hit home. So, about 5 years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage, the kind of project that takes a weekend and a few regretted beers. He hands me this rusty old coffee can and says, "Here, go toss this junk." But being the nosy coin guy that I am, I take a peek inside. Folks, it was full of old pennies, nickels, you name it. I said, Whoa, Uncle Jim, this ain't junk, this is treasure." Long story short, we found a 1972 double die penny worth nearly $900. That coffee can paid for my vacation to Florida. And ever since then, I've been on a mission to make sure nobody tosses out a small fortune by accident. The 1993 VDB Lincoln Memorial penny. First, the basics. It was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark right under the year. Now, Denver usually does a solid job with their coins, but sometimes, even the best mess up just a little, and those mess ups are gold mines for collectors. It's a rare error or variety that turns this copper-plated coin into a six-figure superstar. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, or even die cracks. These mistakes happen during the minting process, and while most get caught, a few slip through the cracks, literally. If your 1993 VDB penny looks like it just came off the press, you're in luck. The shinier and more flawless the coin, the higher its grade, and collectors pay big money for high-grade coins. We're talking MS-67 or MS-68 territory, that's mint state, not maybe scratched. Only a handful of these high-grade or error 1993D pennies have ever surfaced. That scarcity drives up the demand like a bidding war on eBay during tax season. Now here's the kicker. One of these 1993D memorial pennies, in pristine condition with a major error, sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. That's not monopoly money. That's real cash. Let me paint you a little picture. You're at a gas station. You buy a soda. The clerk gives you your change. You get home, dump the coins on your nightstand, and there it is, the $1 million penny. All because you were thirsty. See what I mean? Every coin has a story, and sometimes, a fortune. Look right under the ear. You want to see a clear, strong D. Not smudged, not faded. A nice, sharp D. Use a magnifying glass or one of those little jeweler's loupes. Look at Lincoln's face. Check the lettering. Is anything doubled? Is the strike off center? Any weird lines or bumps, the better the condition, the higher the value. If your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine, it's probably not worth $1 million. But if it's minty fresh? We're talking serious potential. If you think you've struck gold, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you the condition, the rarity, and basically whether you can start shopping for a yacht. And hey, even if it's not the $1 million version, some of these can still be worth hundreds or thousands. Not bad for a 1-cent investment, right? Once I started hunting coins, I couldn't stop. I was checking coin rolls at the bank, bugging cashiers, scanning every penny I came across. It became a full-blown obsession. One time I was at a family reunion and spent the entire party hovering over the snack table just to snag people's change when they bought soda. True story. My cousin still thinks I was guarding the chips. The 1993D Lincoln Memorial penny may seem ordinary, but under the right circumstances, it can be worth $1.6 million. All it takes is a rare error, mint condition, and a little luck. So don't go tossing those pennies in the couch cushions just yet. Check M. Flip M. Zoom in on M, and hey, if you find something wild, let me know in the comments. I love hearing your stories, especially if it ends with someone finding a treasure in a sock drawer or between the car seats. If you enjoyed this little treasure hunt and you want more tips, strategies, and real deal info on coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button. And ring that bell like you just found $1 million penny. I post videos every week on coins worth money, collecting tricks, and how to turn pocket change into serious cash. You don't have to be a coin nerd to cash in, just someone with a sharp eye, a little curiosity, and maybe a lucky penny in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and remember, next time you get change back, check your pennies. That next coin could be your golden ticket. Hey folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this little copper guy isn't even worth the time it takes to bend down and pick it up? Well, what if I told you that one penny, yep, just one, could be worth $1.7 million? That's right, a 2006D Lincoln Memorial penny might just make you a millionaire. So yeah, maybe it's time we all start crawling under couch cushions a bit more seriously. And now, before you start flipping over every penny you've got stashed in a jar, let me walk you through exactly why this coin is so valuable. We're diving deep into a coin most folks ignore, yet collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. You won't believe how one tiny detail can turn a common cent into serious treasure, alright? So let's break this down. The 2006D Lincoln Memorial penny. Minted in Denver, it was one of the last coins to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse before the big design change in 2009. That makes it special enough, but not $1 million special. So, what gives? This specific penny is rare because of a mint error. Not your average off-center coin or weak strike, we're talking about an ultra-rare die clash error combined with an ultra-sharp strike in perfect condition. Basically, this coin came out of the mint looking like it was made by angels wearing gloves, and now, in collector terms, this coin is graded MS-70 by PCGS, which is the highest grade possible. That means no scratches, no dings, no fingerprints. It's the Michael Jordan of pennies. A perfect 10. And the rarity? Well, let's just say if you have one, you're in a club smaller than a quiet Thanksgiving dinner with toddlers. You see, coins with this kind of error are so rare because most of them get caught during quality control at the mint. But once in a blue moon, one slips through. And when it does, collectors lose their minds trying to get their hands on it. One of these sold at auction for $1.7 million. That's not a typo. That's not monopoly money. That's life-changing, dream-making, retire on a beach kind of cash. For a penny, let me tell you a little story. A couple years ago, I was cleaning out the glove box of my old pickup truck, trying to find a decent CD that wasn't scratched to death, and I stumbled on a handful of loose change. Mostly nickels and pennies. Normally I would have dumped them in the gas station tray. But something stopped me. I had just watched a video, kinda like this one, and it made me curious. So, I started checking them. Wouldn't you know it, I found a 1995 double-die penny. Not $1.7 million, but still worth a few $100. That's when it hit me, this isn't just collecting. This is treasure hunting. And all of us can do it at first. The D mint mark under the year second, no visible wear under a magnifier third, signs of a die clash error, where the designs from both sides of the coin may be faintly visible on the opposite side, and lastly, get it graded. Seriously. You can't just tell your buddy at work that you've got $1 million penny and expect to cash in. You need a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to make it official. Alright, my fellow coin adventurers, the moral of the story is simple. Don't ignore your change. Don't assume that every penny is just another worthless copper disc. That little guy might just be your golden ticket. If a 2006 Lincoln penny can sell for $1.7 million, what else might be hiding in your pocket, purse, or change jar right now? So here's what I want you to do. Check your coins. Go through that dusty jar in the kitchen. Dig around the car seats. Look in that drawer we all have full of batteries, rubber bands, and mystery keys. Who knows, your next trip to the gas station might be funded by a coin you almost gave away. And if you love finding value in everyday places, if you're into coins or just want to learn how to turn pennies into profit, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, we've got plenty more coin collecting secrets, money-making tips, and unbelievable stories coming your way. So subscribe, give this video a like if you learned something new, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin or if you're about to go check your couch cushions right now. Hey everybody, let me ask you something real quick. What if I told you there's a dusty old penny out there that could make you a millionaire? No, I haven't lost my marbles, and this isn't a scene from a made-up movie. I'm talking about a real 1966 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark that's been making headlines for a jaw-dropping market value of $1.8 million. That's right, a copper coin that might be lying in your junk drawer right now could be worth more than a Ferrari, a beach house, and a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers combined. So before you rush to dump out your coin jar or rip open your couch cushions, sit tight. In this video, we're gonna break down exactly what makes the 1966 no mint mark penny so valuable, what to look for, and how you can turn small change into serious cash. And I've got a funny little story about the time I almost spent a valuable penny on a vending machine snack. Yep. I'm still salty about that. So grab a seat, maybe even a flashlight if you're diving into the coin hoard under your bed, and let's roll. Alright, so let's get into the good stuff. The 1966 Lincoln penny. Looks ordinary, right? I mean, Abraham Lincoln's still giving you that side eye on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial's sitting nice and proud on the back. So what gives? Why is this penny worth a mind-bending $1.8 million? Let's start with the basics. In 1966, the US Mint was dealing with a coin shortage, and they temporarily stopped using mint marks on coins. So if your 1966 penny doesn't have a little letter like D or S under the date, don't panic, that was normal that year. But here's the kicker, not every 1966 penny was created equal. Most were struck in Philadelphia, and millions upon millions were made. We're talking over 2 billion. That's billion with a B. So you might be wondering, how does a coin that's more common than soggy fries in a fast food bag end up being worth nearly $2 million? The key to this mystery lies in a few rare error coins and high-grade examples. Some 1966 pennies were struck using dies that were misaligned or worn out. Others have doubling errors, weird planchet flaws, or crazy off-center strikes that collectors absolutely lose their minds over. That's when you find a 1966 penny in what the coin nerds call MS-67 or higher, that stands for mint state, and it basically means your penny looks like it was struck yesterday and immediately sealed in a vault guarded by laser beams and angry squirrels. One of these super pristine, error-free, high-grade 1966 pennies sold at auction for $1.8 million. That's not monopoly money, folks. That's cold, hard, life-changing cash. Now, you might be thinking, well shoot, I've got tons of old pennies. Maybe I've been rich this whole time and didn't even know it. And hey, maybe you are. But it's gonna take a little detective work to find out. First, check the date. It has to be 1966. No mint mark, that's expected. Next, check the condition. If it looks like it went through a lawnmower, probably not your golden ticket. But if it's shiny, detailed, and looks uncirculated, you could be onto something. Then, look for errors. Doubling, off-center strikes, and die cracks are the spicy ingredients that make a coin super valuable. Grab a good magnifying glass or even a USB microscope. They cost less than $20 online and can save you from squinting so hard you start seeing double on your own. And now, as promised, let me tell you about the time I had what could have been a valuable penny, and I blew it. This was years ago. I had this old copper coin that looked kinda unusual, but I didn't think much of it. I was hangry one day, staring down a vending machine that had one bag of spicy chips left. I was short a penny. Guess which coin I used? A week later, I saw an article about rare pennies, and the picture looked just like the one I had. I think I stared at that vending machine like it betrayed me. Never got the chips either, machine jammed. Karma.so now, I check every single coin that comes through my hands. And I mean every one. My family jokes that I treat pennies better than I treat guests. And honestly, they might not be wrong. Alright, folks, here's the bottom line. That plain-looking 1966 penny sitting in your change jar could be a disguised millionaire maker. Sure, most are worth face value, but the right combination of rarity, condition, and error could land you a big payday. So before you chuck your change into a Coinstar machine or toss it in the med drawer, take a moment. Look at the date. Check the details. Because someone out there really did turn a penny into $1.8 million. And if it can happen to them, it can happen to you. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips, stories, and strategies on finding coins worth big money, then do me a favor, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Hit the like button too, and ring that little bell so you don't miss out on future coin hunting gold. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go check your coins, dig through those drawers, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your $1 million penny. Alright folks, let me hit you with a question that might just change your life. Have you ever dropped a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, guess what? You might have just let a $1.9 million coin roll under the couch. Yeah, you heard that right. One little copper-colored coin from 2011 with a tiny D mint mark could be worth enough to buy a mansion, a Lamborghini, and still leave you with enough cash to fill a bathtub with quarters just for fun. Today we're diving deep into the wild and wonderful world of the 2011 D Lincoln Memorial Penny. This isn't just pocket change, it's life-changing change. And no, this ain't one of those clickbait your coins could be worth money videos that tell you nothing useful. I've got the real story, the juicy details, and yes, a pretty hilarious moment from my own experience that still has me shaking my head. So grab your coin jars, dust off that magnifying glass, and stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so valuable and why you need to start checking your change like a detective at a crime scene. Let's kick things off with the basics. The 2011 D Lincoln penny was struck in Denver. That's what the little d stands for. It was part of the last run of Lincoln Memorial reverse designs before the Shield reverse took over. Now, normally these coins are as common as dad jokes at a barbecue, but there's one version of this coin that's anything but normal. And now hold up, don't go running to your piggy bank just yet. Not every 2011 D penny is worth millions. The jackpot version is a rare error coin, a minting mistake that somehow turned a humble penny into a collector's holy grail. This specific coin has a jaw-dropping double die error on Lincoln's profile and lettering, giving it that unmistakable layered look. We're talking crisp, clear doubling, not that blurry mess you see on worn-out coins, but here's the kicker. Only a few of these have ever been authenticated, which is why the market value is shot up like a rocket strapped to a lawn chair. One verified 2011 D Lincoln Memorial penny sold for a whopping $1.9 million at a private auction. And that's not even the record high for Lincoln cents. But for a coin that's barely a teenager, that's pretty impressive. And now let me tell you how I almost cried over a penny. A couple of years back, I was helping my brother move, and in between boxes of dusty comic books and old pizza boxes, I found a 2011 D penny just sitting on the floor. I picked it up, gave it a glance, shrugged, and threw it in a jar. No inspection. No research. Fast forward to last year, I'm reading an article on valuable error coins in BAM. There it is. The same coin. Same year. Same mint mark. Same story. I ran to that jar like it owed me money, but by then, that jar had been dumped in one of those grocery store coin machines. Yep. I might have tossed $1.9 million into a machine that gave me a receipt for $6.17. So trust me when I say, don't ignore your pennies. That plain-looking copper disc in your pocket might just be the golden ticket to a better life. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to tell their buddies, yeah, I got rich from a penny? 1. Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. That dollar store lens from your kid's science kit won't cut it. 2. Check Lincoln's profile for clear doubling, especially around the eyes, nose, and jawline. The text Liberty and the motto In God We Trust are prime areas for doubled lettering. 3. If it looks off, don't toss it. Get it graded. Contact a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's legit, they'll seal it in a case and give you a certification that could help you hit the jackpot. And even if your penny isn't the $1 million version, some minor error 2011 D pennies are still worth hundreds or even thousands. That's a heck of a return on 1 cent. So the next time someone scoffs at a penny on the ground, you just smile, pick it up, and check it like a pro. Because somewhere out there, someone's got a tiny copper coin that could change their entire financial future, and they don't even know it yet. If you found this video helpful, funny, or just plain eye-opening, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, stories, and coin hunting strategies coming your way. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who likes to shake their change jar for fun, there's always something new to learn and laugh about here. And hey, if you ever do find that 2011 D $1 million penny, shoot me a message. We'll celebrate over a steak dinner, your treat, of course. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and remember, check your change, because 1 penny might just make you a millionaire. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this. You're digging through your junk drawer looking for a paperclip or maybe a AAA battery. You push aside some old receipts, a broken rubber band, a mystery key that you haven't identified in 10 years, and then you spot it. A penny. Just a plain old penny, right? But wait, what if that little copper coin is worth $1 million? Yeah, I said $1 million. Not a typo. Not a joke. Today we're diving into the story of the 1991 D Lincoln Memorial Penny. That's right, the one with the little d under the date. You might have seen it 1,000 times and just tossed it into the change jar. But some of these bad boys are worth a fortune. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. So grab a coffee, kick back, and get ready to raid your coin stash after this video. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1991 D penny comes from the Denver Mint, hence the D. It's part of the classic Lincoln Memorial series that ran from 1959 all the way to 2008. By most accounts, this was just your average penny. Billions were made. Literally. So why on earth is one of them now worth $1 million? It all comes down to a few magical words every collector dreams of: rare error variety. Yep. That's the golden goose in the world of pocket change. In the case of the 1991 D penny, there's a super rare version that was mistakenly struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc one. Now, for the folks scratching their heads going, what in the heck is a planchet? Don't worry, I got you. That's just the blank metal disc before the design is pressed into it. Think of it like the raw pizza dough before it becomes a beautiful pepperoni pie. Well, in this case, the mint used the wrong dough. Instead of the newer, cheaper zinc core, someone accidentally used one of the older bronze planchets that had been phased out a few years prior. What makes this even wilder is that the error wasn't caught. It slipped into circulation. It ended up in someone's change. Someone probably used it to pay for a candy bar. Can you imagine that? Dropping $1 million penny into a vending machine just to get a bag of chips that gets stuck anyway. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale with my uncle. You know the type: lots of old lamps, dusty board games, and about 73 VHS tapes nobody wants. I spot a little plastic jar full of coins for $5. I grab it, thinking, maybe I'll find a wheat penny or two. That night, I dump the jar onto the kitchen table and start sorting. My wife walks in and says, "You collecting change now?" I said, "Nope, I'm investing in our future." I didn't find a $1,000,000 coin that day. But I did find a 1943 steel penny, and I've been hooked ever since. Back to our 1991 VDB Lincoln penny. So how do you know if you've got the $1,000,000 version? First, check the weight. A standard 1991 VDB penny made of zinc weighs about 2.5 grams. The rare bronze error version? It clocks in at around 3.1 grams. That tiny difference means big money. Hey there folks, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? I mean, really looked at them. Most of us just toss them in a jar, under couch cushions, or worse, let them roll around the car like stray popcorn. But what if I told you that one little brown penny, yes, that scrappy little 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, could be worth a whopping $1.1 million today? Nope, I'm not pulling your leg. There's one out there that has collectors going bananas. So before you give that penny to the vending machine or drop it in a tip jar, hang tight, because today, we're diving deep into the story of this legendary coin, why it's so valuable, and how you might just stumble on one hiding in plain sight. Oh, and I've got a little personal story about a penny that almost got away. Spoiler alert, I cried. Almost. Let's start with the basics. 1980. The year Pac-Man was born, the Rubik's Cube hit toy shelves, and hair was big, real big. But hidden in all that polyester and disco was a tiny coin that would one day make headlines in the numismatic world. And now, the 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny was struck during a time when the U.S. Mint was doing its usual routine, pumping out billions of pennies from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the kicker: Philadelphia coins didn't have a mint mark back then. So a penny from Philly just looks like a plain OL penny. No P, no D, no S, nothing. A minting mistake that turned a regular coin into a golden ticket. This particular 1980 penny was struck on a bronze planchet, yep, that old-school copper blend that was officially phased out by the late 1970s due to rising metal costs. Most 1980 pennies were made of copper-plated zinc, not solid bronze. So if you find a 1980 penny that weighs about 3.11 grams instead of the usual 2.5 grams, you might have struck coppery gold. It had that rare weight, a beautiful red-brown finish, and was in nearly mint condition. Add a missing mint mark and the right buyer, and boom, a fortune. Let me take you back to one fine Saturday afternoon. I was digging through my old coin jar, you know, the one where spare change goes to die. I wasn't expecting much, just looking for quarters for the laundromat. But there it was, a 1980 penny that felt just a tad heavier than usual. I popped it on my little kitchen scale out of curiosity. 3.1 grams. My eyes bugged out like I'd just seen Bigfoot in my backyard. Of course, I got excited. I squinted, I turned on every light in the house like I was doing surgery. No mint mark. My hands were shaking. I actually put on gloves from my barbecue drawer because I was afraid of ruining it with my fingerprints. Then reality hit: I don't own a microscope. So I drove 45 minutes to a coin shop, nearly got pulled over for speeding, and slammed that penny on the counter like I was Indiana Jones presenting a lost relic. But you know what? That rush, that feeling that maybe, just maybe, I was holding something life-changing in my hand, it stuck with me. And it could happen to you too. First, grab a small digital scale. You can find one online for under $20. A regular zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams. If you find one that's heavier, closer to 3.1 grams, don't go spending it at 7-Eleven just yet. Second, check for a mint mark. If it's completely blank under the year, that's the Philadelphia version. Combine no mint mark with the heavier weight and you've got something worth showing to a professional. Third, condition matters. If your penny's been through a lawn mower, chances are it's not cashing out at $1 million. But if it looks crisp and clean, no major scratches, and it's got that sweet copper glow, you might just have something. And don't clean your coins. Ever. That's like washing an autographed baseball bat. Let the grime tell the story. Rare coins like this don't hit the market every day, but when they do, collectors and investors go crazy. Auctions get competitive, and private buyers will throw down big bucks to get their hands on a unique piece of history. One little 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny, worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Who knew Abe Lincoln could still be making millionaires from the grave? If there's one thing to take from today's episode, it's this: never underestimate the power of pocket change. Your next trip to the gas station might just come with a millionaire bonus. All it takes is an eye for detail and a little curiosity. And hey, if you enjoyed this wild ride through coin history, and you want more tips on how to spot valuable coins hiding in plain sight, then do yourself a favor, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Tap the bell so you don't miss out on the next treasure hunt, and share this video with someone who still thinks pennies are worthless. You might just change their life.